Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.
Hey everybody, welcome to the last 20 of the People's Choice Top 100 of all time. Over 2,000 people voted. They said games were great. They could vote it for 20 games. These are the top 20, according to you, the fans.
People.
Well, at least 2,000 of you.
Which I think it's a good chunk.
That's a good
Like you said, it's better than most political polls.
Yeah, it is.
All right, but before we do this, I'll give you each 3 guesses for the, you can, and if your 3 guesses are in the top 3, then you will get points. Then we'll see who's better. So what 3 games are the top 3? We've already gone through 80 games that you probably forgot some already.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to throw out some names.
And you can guess the same ones. It's fine.
Agricola. I'm going to throw out Agricola.
Okay, Agricola.
I'm going to throw out Netrunner, Android Netrunner.
Okay.
You're dreaming.
It might be. It's hot.
Okay, and
I'm going to throw out, this might be a long shot, but Pandemic.
okay.
That's wishful thinking. Oh, man.
I didn't ask for your top 3.
Really?
No, it's not. Agricola's in there.
Golly.
All right.
Top 3.
Come on, I went before you to give you time to think, Sam.
I know. I needed more time. Top 3 of the people. The people.
We the people demand your answers.
All right, that's my first one. We the people.
You might be right.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Oh my
7
word, I doubt
ages.
Actually, I will say 7 wonders. I'll
Okay,
say
7 wonders.
I'm going to say Ticket to Ride.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, you already said your 3.
And
Lice shower.
pressure.
No?
Number 3. Golly.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Heroescape.
Okay, Heroescape. Okay, now, if you look here, I'll show you the numbers here on this. You can see the votes. And the votes that people got, they got a certain number of votes for what order you put them in. And the votes have been like pretty samey up to this point, 2,800. Here,
9.
number 21 has 3,439, but number 1 has 9,976. It murdered number 2, which had 8,762. Number 3 had 7,252.
So
And
it's like a 1,000 jump at that point.
yeah, so the top 10 was a definitive top 10.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Number 20, brand new for this year, Caverna, the Cave Farmers.
Ah, cool.
Which I'm not surprised at because I think when people play this, it's just so naturally likable. You play it and
the
it's...
people who play it are people who already probably enjoyed and played Uwe Rosenberg games, and yes, I would agree. This is likable to that crowd, and I like it actually. And I typically don't like Uwe Rosenberg's big game.
I was surprised that Z liked it. Yeah. I was surprised Sam liked it. Now you really like it more than...
Yeah, he likes it more than me, but I do like that game.
All right.
Way more than Agricola.
Now, number 19, you like a lot. You like it okay. We make you play it sometimes. That's Descent Journeys in the Dark, second edition.
Okay.
Good pick.
And again, I think that's almost a lifestyle game.
Yeah.
Because you get so involved in it. I'm calling it next year. Imperial Assault will be on this list, in the top 50.
Top 50?
Yeah, I'm calling it now.
That's an easy.
Are you?
Man.
Come on.
Man.
Come on.
That's an easy swing.
I
Yes.
got you. Yeah, maybe so.
I could be wrong, but look how high X-Wing was.
I'm going to say it's one of my 3 at the top next year.
Okay, first of all, that's a lie.
Okay.
Oh, you. All right. Number 18, and I'm really surprised this one's still in the top 20. Race for the Galaxy.
Huh.
That's surprising, huh?
That is kind of surprising, but
It's a great game, in my opinion. It's just, I didn't think it had the legs. It's complicated. A lot of new people into gaming are like, oh, I've never heard of this.
I also don't think the expansions have done that game any favors. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I'm wondering, I would love to be Professor X and be able to go inside the minds of these people as they're voting and see how much nostalgia played into their choices. For example, I remember liking this game a lot, so I'm going to vote for it.
I'm sure
I
it's a
don't
big
play it a
part of
lot
it.
now.
I think
but I remember loving it.
I think it's part of it, but at the same time, we're not seeing a lot of older games, and newer games are pretty high on the list.
Yeah.
I think this list is the best indicator of any list of what games people are playing now. Although I don't ever see anyone play Race for the Galaxy. I'm sure it
that's the
happens.
thing.
Well, we can't always go by what we
Right,
see.
right. Yeah.
And if you asked me to play it, I would be glad to. I like Race for the Galaxy.
Well, I don't know about glad to.
I
I probably
I like
would.
it a lot.
Number 17 is a co-op game that I'm surprised is this high on the list because it was hard to find for a while out of print, thanks to Z-Man. Robinson Crusoe, number 17. Wow. Isn't that high?
Still haven't played it.
We'll let you lose at it eventually. Don't worry. It's not hard.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I finally won that.
Whoa! Okay, thanks.
You should have left him hanging. That would have been epic.
I played by myself.
Oh.
With Friday and the dog.
And you won?
And I squeaked in a win, baby.
Wait, which one?
The first one.
No.
Yeah, I got all that wood. I burnt it. Burnt the island. I won.
Pixar didn't happen.
Who?
Pics or it didn't have.
Yeah.
I probably did take pictures. I was so excited I finally won. Dude, that pigs or it didn't happen.
Pigs or it didn't happen. Okay, I got
It was so. That game is incredibly tough, but an awesome choice.
Well,
I'm right there with you
congratulations. All right. Number 16, we already mentioned a long time ago, Resistance Avalon. Here we have the Resistance.
Cool.
Just regular Resistance.
Which is, I would agree with
You
the people,
chosen
a
correctly.
better game than Avalon, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Now, we just played another game last night that had an Avalon-style thing in it. Did you like that?
I like that quite a bit.
Did you like that Avalon feel? There was a witness, and if the witness got killed,
Thought that was really well done.
it worked better in that game, I think. But still, solid game. And Resistance, they played it last night at our game group again.
They did.
And then they didn't even wait till the end of the night. They were like, hey, let's play Resistance. We're like, nah, it's an end of night game. And they wanted to play it now.
Yeah.
Number 15, sorry, Z, is Android Netrunner.
Okay. Well, it's in there. That's one.
I'm thinking my three probably won't even make it.
Right. So I'm thinking that's like, if it's in the top 3, give me like, 5 points apiece. But if it's in there at all, give me 1.
We're making scoring up. We're a Euro game. No. Okay.
Feld is about to call me.
You're doing it all wrong.
Android Netrunner has its own community, very strong community.
Yes.
They come out with expansion after expansion. It will be interesting to see how Doomtown hits the list next year. Will that LCG have the same kind of legs? I don't think so, but it does.
Think so.
It does seem to be hitting stronger than I thought. So that's good.
Okay.
And for me personally, the cowboy theme is more interesting than the futuristic, whatever that hacker theming.
Right.
We'll see. Now, number 14, I don't think either of you would have picked for this list, and I was surprised how high it was. The Castles of Burgundy.
Well, it is a particularly loved Feld game.
I know, but wow, that's high.
Not one I've actually played yet, and it's on the short list of games I would like to play.
It's essentially a
Taking
game
it
where you
all
roll
into-
dice and
taking
you.
it all into consideration. It's one of those games that typically, when you ask fans of Feld, top 3 Feld games, it's one of those 3.
Actually, typically, you might ask people who don't like Feld games, and many of them still like Castles of Burgundy. It's one that I like.
Okay.
I don't love it, and it's certainly dry, but I think it's probably. I don't know if I want to say it's his best, but it's certainly a good, solid one.
Okay.
Number 13, super high for such a small, tiny game. Love Letter. Number 13. Wow.
That's amazing.
That would explain why AEG has made 200 different versions.
Somebody be drinking that Kool-Aid.
It's going to be coming a Happy Meal soon. No, it's not.
Love Letter Happy Meal
Happy Meal.
edition.
Happy Meal edition.
And it's like Ronald is
The Princess.
princess. Hamburglar.
Hamburglar is in there, and Grimace.
That is really
Okay.
The French fry guys are in
Okay,
there somewhere.
we laugh about that, but if they announced that tomorrow, I wouldn't be that
Want
surprised.
that money, AG. Get up with hooking you up.
Okay. Number 12, a very high-placed Euro game that you both like, Power Grid.
Cool.
Good. That's another one that's got a strong staying power.
And I have to say, I'm keeping one eye on this new Power Grid Deluxe that's coming out.
It does look cool, man. I like that cartoony look.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. You don't like it?
No fiber optics, though.
Oh, I know. I'm
Sorry, Sam.
A missed opportunity.
You missed it.
They really messed that one up. I know.
they did.
I know. I do like the artwork. It looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
You know what, though? This is another game that's fairly old to be on this list. Power Grid is 99 or something? Or that was Funkenschlag.
Yeah,
I forget.
but I mean, basically same thing, an evolution of the same idea. But man, just legs. You know, the game is
To be in the top 12.
Yeah.
All right.
Good. It's good economic game.
Number 11. Not in the top 10, sadly. Cosmic Encounter.
Wow.
Oh, that
Yeah.
could have been another good guess for me.
Well, I would have been, as much as I love it, I would have been surprised to see that in top 3. Because there's the people who love Cosmic Encounter love it.
That's a polarizing
And a lot of people
game.
like it, but there are people who hate it and wouldn't put it on their list at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's one of those things that people who like it do tend to love it.
And play it a lot. We saw it being played last night. Yeah, it's.
Again, you don't vote against games on the list.
I love you guys. All right, here we go. Top 10 for the People's Choice. Number 10, Carcassonne.
Oh.
Which is one, if you had thought of it, you might have stuck in the top 3.
No, I thought of it, and
Yeah.
I thought not. I'm surprised.
That it's in the top 10 still?
Is this votes compiled? Is this just
Yeah,
Carcassonne?
It's just Carcassonne. I didn't pull votes from any other Carcassonne.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't pull them
So
from.
no other Carcassones were even voted on?
Well, they might have been, but they weren't in the top 100.
They weren't in the top 100. Okay.
That's great. That's really good. I mean, that... I'm surprised.
It's
I'm
my
surprised the
wife's-
first one...
It's my wife's favorite game, so I can see it.
I'm just surprised with how much... how many different games have come out in that line of the first one can still garner that much adoration.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to diffusing the love for Carcassonne among them all.
Right.
Especially now that they started doing those strange themed ones.
Yeah, the second one's coming out now.
Those are pretty neat. So far,
South
we have
Seas
just
are-
the
South
one.
Seas is
South
really
Seas is a
cool.
really solid game.
Yeah.
The new one, Gold Rush, I think it's called, looks really interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Cool.
All right. Number 9, Small World.
Oh, I didn't think of that one.
Well, probably
I guess
good.
It's probably good because I didn't choose it.
Yeah, but I mean, Small World still has that staying power. I think the Android upswing is now helping it. Now that it's coming out for Android, people can
right.
play it, and they're coming out with some new little mini expansions at Essen today. When this is posted,
Hey,
quick, go to Essen now.
say hi to me.
But I think it's a solid game. There are still a few grumpy people who I meet every once in a while who are like, Vinci was so much better. I'm going to beg to differ because Vinci never hit the top 100 of People's Choice.
Yeah.
But Small World is there strongly.
And it's a great war game, so. Well, I'm sorry.
It is.
All right. Number 8. You will not believe this number 8 because it came out less than a year ago. But it's a redoing of another
Eldritch
game.
Horror.
Yes.
Yeah!
Wow. Really?
But can you imagine that? It's that high on the list already?
10 after just.
That
Wow.
expansion is going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, that's printing money.
I'm really surprised. But then, again, you have to remember Arkham Horror was one of Fantasy Flight's best sellers ever.
Yeah.
And Eldritch Horror is, in my opinion, they're going to slowly phase Arkham out and phase Eldritch in. It really seems that
You
way.
really think they're going to do that?
Yeah, they'll still sell Arkham, of course.
Well, yeah.
But they haven't announced or made any
new.
expansions. It's gotten really bloated at this point. Doesn't need anything else.
Okay, I can see a refocusing of like expansion.
That's what I should say. Refocusing on Eldritch.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
And it's a cleaner system.
And a lot of people do that. No, there was not a lot of bad blood from. I mean, again, I'm taking a general, non-scientific consensus here, but I don't think there was a lot of bad blood from people who liked Arkham, and then Eldritch came out, and they were like, "Oh, Eldritch."
Right.
A lot of people were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is either
No, I
as
do-
good or better." Most people.
I do have a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people at least say that Arkham Horror is by far better than Eldritch. I have heard people saying that.
But not more people, not according to this list.
I haven't run across that.
I
too
guess
much.
it's kind of like the whole Vinci and Small World. You have those.
It's a small vocal group, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to watch next year. All right, Z. Once again, out for you, number 7, Agricola.
Okay, I had 2 points in my made-up scoring system.
I'm like torn here because I'm like, wow, none of mine have been picked yet. So I'm like, I'm still in. And
Right,
I'm like,
right.
then there's the other half and it's like, you're not even going to get one on the list.
The thing about Agricola is, I'm really curious to see if it and Caverna will switch places next year. I'm calling that it will happen.
That would have happened already, I think.
No, because Caverna just came out like a month or so ago in wide distribution.
Really?
Remember, yeah, Mayfair really dropped the ball on that one. It wasn't available for most of this year. The only people who were playing it were people who got it at Essen and everything. So
I'm
it
gonna
just hit
stick-
the...
I don't know. I'm gonna.
I think Gen Con was when it first came.
I think I'm with Tom on this one. I think I can see Caverna replacing Agricola.
They're not that far apart, 20 and 7,
No,
really.
I'm sticking with
All right.
with this order.
Are we going to watch these videos next year so
I don't
remember
know,
what we
but
said?
hopefully I'll remember this one because I do think that's interesting that you guys think the opposite, both of you. I don't know. I think it's Agricola is dug in deep enough that there's not going to be
Okay,
a
I'll differentiate myself a little bit. I'll say next year they're going to get closer, and the year after that they're going to flip.
All right.
Okay.
Sam, now you're out. Number 6, 7 Wonders. That's pretty close.
That is pretty
You're
close.
closer than
Wonders.
me.
Yeah.
So now you get 1 point, and my points drop down to 0.9s.
And I
not a
feel
good scoring
I feel like
system.
7 Wonders, I'm going to call this, that 7 Wonders is going to say steady to next year. Because it's such a simple game, the drafting, and they're adding that new expansion,
Babel.
which everybody's pumped about.
Babel, yeah, that's
Babel is coming.
I think Babel's going to make the game really pop up in my listings. I haven't played it yet, but man, just listening to how it plays,
Yeah.
really exciting.
I'm right there with you.
All right,
Yep.
so keep an eye out. So 7 Wonders is number 6. I guess it should have been number 7. That would have been kind of cool, but missed it by 1. All right, number 5. This is a game that neither one of you thought of, but if you had, you might have put in your top 3. Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh, I thought of it.
Oh,
Did not think of it.
that's
good.
really high up,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, that's
I
it.
thought of it, but I didn't think it was going to be 1, 2, or 3.
Lords of Waterdeep is amazing. That a Dungeons and Dragons Euro game. If I had told you, I think when I first heard about it, someone said they're making a Dungeons and Dragons Euro game. I was like, all right, stick with what you know, guys.
Palm.
But we were wrong. It was really a great game,
It's very popular.
and you cannot.
PC man over there.
Oh, that's right. You don't like this
He
one.
doesn't like it.
You think it's too bland.
Not particularly. I do think it's a little too bland. Yeah.
Have you played with the expansion?
No.
The expansion really changes it up. I
you
think.
Again, if I don't like the game very much, the expansion's not suddenly going to make it a new game.
No, but you said it was bland. I think the expansion made
No,
it less
yeah,
bland.
I hear you. I hear you with that.
I think you should give it a whirl with
At
the
some
expansion.
point, I will play with it
Yeah.
again.
All right, number 4. This was number 1 3 years ago. Dominion.
Why did we not think of that?
I know you didn't.
I didn't want to.
Now what's
I messed up on that. I should
now?
have totally.
I'm really curious though about Dominion because I like Dominion a lot. It's still in my top 100, and I know a lot of people still really like it, obviously. But when is the last time you saw someone play it? I mean, like anywhere. I mean, it must be being played.
I'm assuming so. I don't know.
Now they are selling it. We were in Barnes and Nobles yesterday, and they have they have expansions for Dominion and Dominionaire, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's dropped down a little. Obviously, dropping from number 1 is a big deal because when it was number 1, it was huge.
Well, this is one of those games that would be interesting, albeit perhaps a short discussion, to bring into that whole will it be played in 50 years discussion.
Right.
You know,
I don't think it will.
I don't think so either.
No.
I don't think it'll be played.
I think this game really, while very innovative.
What is it, 5 years old?
Yeah, something like that. Game,
6.
very innovative, very well liked. Obviously, I enjoy it also, but the game was helped along by this never-ending wave of expansions, which has now, as far as I know anyway, has officially come to a close. At some point that's gonna now.
I wouldn't say 10 years from now it's going to be in.
All right. Well, we'll see. It'll be interesting. All right. Top 3.
Okay, let's
see.
do it.
Here's your chance.
Come on.
Number 3. Ticket to Ride. Okay. Are you surprised? You just forgot about it.
Yeah.
You would have probably said it, right?
I guess so.
Ticket to Ride is a solid game. I'm glad to see it's still up there. And this is one that's now 10 years old, and they came out with the anniversary edition, which seemed to sell like hotcakes.
Seemed. It did.
Yeah, flew out.
We were watching it at
door.
both Dice Tower Con and Gen
not
Con.
seen
People were
that.
just like grabbing them and running. It was amazing.
Yeah, there is something to be said still for.
Sam doesn't buy deluxe games, and he's still going to get a copy of this at some point.
Maybe.
There is something to be said for having an heirloom game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what Days of Wonder does really well, is they get that. I mean, that's kind of what their whole company's based on, is the idea of a game being a family heirloom.
Yeah.
And they killed it with
Yeah,
Ticket
they
to Ride 10th Anniversary Edition. Because if nothing else, that game is a family heirloom. I could see that game 40 years from now.
You're telling your kids, hey,
Yeah,
let's
you
play
tell-
this
hey, look
game.
at
It
this,
came out when
kids.
I was young.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ticket to Ride. No, really. I mean,
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
number 2, which I believe was number 2 last year, or was number 1 last year, maybe. And that is King of Tokyo.
Ooh, wow. Nice.
I should have picked that.
See, you guys were both. I don't remember. Were you at the first Dice Tower Con?
No, I went to the second one.
You went to the second one. You were at the first Dice Tower Con, and everybody was playing King of Tokyo. There was like 6 games going on.
I think I played 4 or 5 games of it on the second year.
Well, how
Just me
many
personally?
How many times
game
have you
is-
played it in total?
Oh my word!
Is it in the hundreds, probably?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
It's-
that game.
Now, it will be very interesting next year to see where King of New York shows up on the list. Because I'm betting it goes in the top 100, and I don't think I should combine their totals, right?
No,
they're
that's-
particularly
Yeah,
different. They're different enough, for sure, yeah.
So King of New York is coming out now, Essen.
Right.
It's out now, so there was no way I was going to make this list at all. It's the few people who played it at Gen Con. So we'll see next year. I don't think it will even hit the top 50, but I think you'll see it slowly edge up.
That's not a long shot. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
But King of Tokyo is still pretty solid, and it's
amazing.
I
Do
mean,
you think King of Tokyo will slip because of King of New York? Could you see that happening?
yeah, maybe.
Some of the people that really like King of Tokyo are won over by King of New York, and so they give their vote to King of New York to make its entrance on the list. But then that makes King
If
of
I
Tokyo
was voting, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're super cult of the new. I don't think so.
Super cool.
Are you kidding?
I know,
My number
me.
1
I
is
think-
Cosmic Encounter.
I think people
That's not
who-
Cold of the New.
No, but I mean, like, your mentality cycles games in and out quickly. Like, if a sequel to something comes out, the first one's, like, almost immediately dismissed.
That's because usually the second one is better.
That's true. But I think a lot of people will like King of Tokyo for reasons that King of New York does not give them. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I think the game's amazing, and it's a great sequel.
Yeah.
But there are things you lose in that transition.
Yeah.
The game is simpler, the first one. You can explain it faster. There's less faces on the dice to explain. You can play with kids more easily. And if people put it at number 2 for some of those reasons, then no. There will not be that switch. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I think there will be some people
I
that
agree.
will like New York better,
Oh, well, of
and
course,
that
of
alone is
course.
going to make Tokyo.
I think it's going to be on the list. That's a good bet. I just don't think they'll flip-flop.
No, they're not going to flip flop.
Yeah.
I think it'll. Just,
Oh, I'm not calling that either.
I just think Tokyo is going to slip a little bit because.
But it won't be number 2. That's what he's saying. He thinks it'll
I-
maybe drop down to like 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just going to
Maybe.
slip. Not,
We'll see.
Not be swapped.
And number 1, bow before Z, Pandemic.
Yeah?
Wow.
I love you guys. Yeah. Voice of the people.
But the
I guess
thing
really
is-
now I'm allowed to take that title for real now. Voice of the people. I mean, it's my favorite game.
Pandemic's a
It's your
good game. Wasn't it
favorite
in your
game?
top 100?
Yeah.
Love you guys.
You're just mad he's right?
Wow.
Well, you got Ticket to Ride, though.
Crummy, weird little betting system. I guess I win there with the points. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
because you got a 1 and he got a 3, so you got
Yeah,
it.
you win.
Something.
All right.
You win.
But no, Pandemic, this is now a 6-year-old game or 7-year-old game at this point. No.
2008.
I went to Essen 5 years ago, and it had already been out, so 6 years. 6 years old. Okay. because that's when they first told me about Forbidden Desert.
I think it's
Forbidden Island.
2008, if I'm not mistaken, because that was a really good year
Yeah.
for gaming.
So anyhow, it's still pretty solid. Now, granted, they've been releasing expansions for it lately, and they're keeping the buzz alive by having Pandemic Contagion and the Pandemic Dice game. But it's still one that's sold all over the place, and people play and like. I can't argue with this one. It could be looked at as the #1 gateway game at this point. Maybe more than Ticket to Ride.
I've certainly used it a ton of times to introduce people that don't play games to games. I mean, there's something to be said for using a cooperative game to teach people gaming.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to give them everything. You really can, for once, say, learn as we play. That works in very few games, but it works in Pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? This is almost off topic, but it fits. I was watching a news clip on Fox News today, and they were talking about the Ebola virus and how we need to send people to West Africa to get to help quell the Ebola virus there, so that we can take care of it, so that it doesn't spread anymore, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought of Pandemic.
Right.
You know, we need to send the medic, and we need to send the researcher.
Send a direct flight over there.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. So
I wonder if this Ebola thing will affect sales of Pandemic either up or down. That would be interesting. Because
that'd be such a hard statistic to track.
well, I know, but I wonder now, because when you were playing Pandemic before, it was a totally fantasy scenario, but now it's something that's kind of
It's not
realistic.
like we didn't have diseases before. That's you
It's
know
not-
every
I don't think it's a totally fantasy.
no. I mean it's
Well, it's definitely not
we've
sci-fi.
never had like 4
It is sci-fi.
massive epidemics.
Absolutely sci-fi.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Yeah. You know, we've never had that scenario exactly 4 massive epidemics hitting the world at once. Okay,
Which
but
is why it's sci-fi.
right, sure, but it's
Anyhow.
fiction.
All right.
No, I don't know. That would be a really hard thing to track statistically.
Yeah, it would be.
So anyway, guys, thank you everyone who voted on this.
Yeah, thanks
I think
a
it
lot.
was really cool. I think it's really cool to look at this list. And regardless of, I mean, we don't agree with every position on this list. We have different thoughts on it. But I would be completely legit if someone said, I don't know what games to get into. I could give them this top 100.
Here's a list. Yep.
Yeah, you could buy games off this list. You're probably better off going off this list than any one of our 3 lists, because our 3 lists are very specifically tuned to us.
Yeah,
One
they're
person's
individualized.
opinion, right?
Individualized.
And there's
I agree with you.
there's no game on this list where we would collectively say that's a bad game. We may not like it, but there's no games in here that is like, oh, well, that game, I can't believe anyone likes it. No,
No,
not
at
all
all.
pretty solid,
Not at
especially
all.
in the top 50.
Yeah.
Especially in the top 50.
Yeah, that would be a great tool. Take a look at this list. Start at number 1. Start looking at pictures and reading what they're about. Stop when something sounds really interesting. Great way to do it.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back with our regular top 10 list soon. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Have a good one.
And I'm Sam Healey. See you on the flip side.
Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.